Welcome back to the halftime show on the PAC Sports Network, and we're joined now by Westminster women's basketball coach Rose Scott. Coach, thanks so much for being with us. Always a pleasure to have you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Now, Westminster off to a great start so far this season, on a roll right now. Winners of 4 of the last 5 games, all in conference play, and coming off a 64-53 win against Allegheny on Wednesday night. Give us your thoughts on the season to this point and on Wednesday night's victory.
It's been good. It's ups and downs at the beginning, just getting that experience, having the conference play started so early in the season, it's a lot more, I feel pressure to have better execution and better production but you're still developing some of the players too. So it's kind of combined thing. It's nice that we have so many veterans coming back with that experience. But yeah, it's been good so far for this first half.
Experience was going to be my next question. The Titans return a veteran group, 3 fifth-year players and/or grad
Mhm.
students, 4 seniors as well, with a group that's reached the PAC semifinals 4 times, 1 championship game in that span.
Mhm.
How invaluable is that experience for this year's team?
Very, very invaluable, especially with some of our younger players. Practices have been intense, like being competitive. So that's, I think, one from the get-go, which has been nice, that the expectation of hey, this is how we practice, this is what we need to do. And battling each other out, obviously for spots, for playing time, but also to make each other better in that aspect. But yeah, it's been great. And then, leadership on the floor, kind of takes a lot from, during a game too, they're talking to each other. It takes a lot off of my plate as a coach because they're already saying what I was going to say. So that kind of helps in game situations too.
As far as the veterans, you have of the 5th-year and/or grad students, include the big 3 for Westminster over the last several years: Natalie Murrio, Lindsay Bell, and Camden Hergenrother. When did you
Mhm.
find out that all 3 would be returning, and how exciting is it to have them back?
Well, I knew Natalie and Lindsay, were because they had to come back for class. They had to come back for classes. Lindsay had to come back to student teach. Natalie had to come back for her nursing classes. Some of the things she needed to finish up because they changed their major after their freshman year. Cam was the big surprise. So was very fortunate for her. She got a position in the business department here as a graduate assistant, finishing her grad classes and working there for the professor. She loves that. But it was a big surprise, and but it was awesome, and I think for them it's, this year for them it's, a bonus year, because we take this sport for granted sometimes, right? It's like it goes by so fast, and just to have another chance to put the uniform on is always special, and I think they're understanding that.
Especially with a shortened COVID year, a part of that as well. So great, I'm sure, for all parties involved to have another season together. Yeah, after suffering a knee injury her freshman year, some other bumps and bruises along the way in her career, senior Caitlin Condolian, coming off the bench the last 2 years, now is the team's second leading scorer. How nice is it to see all of her hard work paying off now as a senior?
I'm very happy for her. It's great for her. She just came in, I think, behind all the injuries behind her, playing with confidence, and that's the one thing, And I think in the past it's been second guessing: is my body going to hold up? Am I going to be able to? But she's this year has come out, worked hard, like you said. Everything that she's been working for is now showing on the court, and her confidence is showing. And I'm very happy to see her perform the way that she has been.
Senior Mariah Vincent is the team's top 3-point shooter. She led the team in that category as well last year with 51 trays. What kind of threat is she on the perimeter?
It's great to have her out there. I mean, it's like, I think last night she probably only got two threes up, because teams are really hounding on her, like, making sure she doesn't get open threes. Um, so that opens up for other players, to be able to contribute. So, but last night she hit a big three for us, like, key moment. They left her open and she daggered it. So that's we call her this quiet dagger because Mariah is just Mariah. It's very like, okay, but she's very she people don't know about her. She defends the other team's best player, and she puts a lot of energy, and like, that's her thing. She loves doing that. And I don't know, people realize how much work that is to do, for how many minutes, but she takes pride in that too.
I like that. The quiet dagger, the silent assassin of the Westminster Titans. That's a pretty good nickname. I like it. Rounding out your starting lineup, junior forward Emily Hess. What can you say about her?
Emily's just a workhorse. I mean, she just works. She's what our program is about, and never gives up. She comes in, has that spark, defensively, rebounding wise. I mean, it's she gets us going in that aspect of the game, and she takes pride in that. And it's great to see her out there. Again, she's another one that she walks out there this year with more confidence. So I'm happy to see that in her. But yeah, she's gets us going on that emotional side of things.
With so many veterans on the roster, obviously it's very difficult for some of the youngsters to make an impact, but there are some that have done so. Freshman Kennedy Arison is one, sophomore Gracie Schill. They've both earned significant playing time. Both out of Akron Hoban High School. What do they add to the
Mhm.
lineup when they're on the floor?
Another level of speed. I mean, KO comes in, we call her KO Kennedy, comes in and she's pushing the ball. She's going coast to coast. She's fast, she's quick, she can defend. So she brings another level of transition for us. Great defender, like I said. She's still, like point guard, college point guard, still, learning and adjusting, and she's doing a good job with that. And with Gracie coming back, last year, she, missed half the year. She had mono. So with her, it's been great to see her here. She brings in another level of defense for us, another level of attacking. So she could get things going offensively for us. Like I said, her and KO work really well together out there since they have that experience. But it's nice for them to get that game experience here together.
Defense always a staple for Westminster, and you talked about several players. Defense, very good defender. One of the best. You put this player on the opposing team's best offensive player. How is it that Westminster's been able to be so consistent defensively over the years?
I think that's just that's my philosophy. I think that's what I preach. I think defense, like I always talk about, isn't have to do about athletic ability. It has to do. There's more. It's more about quickness and wanting it and doing it and taking pride in it. And that's just one thing that if you ask my team, they know that I preach that. And when close games happen again, like last night, what do we need? We needed stops, and that's comes down to it. And I know different coaches have different philosophies, and maybe I'm old school in that, but I believe that you have to be able to play on that end, and to me that's where the heart is, and that's something that I've just always have preached.
Well, I guess to follow coach cliches, they say defense wins championships, and also defense can create turnovers and turn them into offense. So I know that works out pretty well. I don't know that that's old school. I think that's just good basketball. But when we mentioned earlier, the team's made the PAC semifinals 4 consecutive years, one championship game appearance in that span. What will it take for Westminster to get back to the championship this year and win it?
The consistency, being consistent, being that consistent in practice, but also just being confident out there. Like they start to, and we do this, I think, in general, like we start to second guess ourselves. Even sometimes as coaches, we start to second guess ourselves in our decision making. But you just have to be confident. And I think one thing they have to realize is like we need to go get it. It's just we just can't wait for it to happen. And that's one thing that we talk about all the time. Like you got to go get it. Nothing in life's handed to you. So you got to work for it and you got to go get it. And it's up to you how much you want and how passionate you are behind it. Because if you do it with passion, then good things could happen.
It's
So
Westminster head coach Rose Scott. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Always a pleasure speaking with you, and good luck to you and the team moving forward.
thank you, Randy.
We'll have the second half of today's game when we come back right after this.